Hello, and welcome to J-Rocker's extended review of the 2019 Ford Fusion Hybrid Energi. Currently running on electric only, which assuming my viewers out there made some comments on the last video that you'd like to know some other things besides just the basic stats of how many average miles per gallon I get and what my average cost of fuel was and if I'm saving any money. Beyond that, what am I annoyed with? What do I really like about this vehicle? So one of the things that has been probably the most annoying to me is if it's really cold outside, the car will default to running the engine regardless of what you really want to do or how full your battery is. And I didn't realize that I even had the opportunity to change that until probably about 5 or 10,000 miles in. I realized I had this little button down here for EV mode or auto mode or gas mode. So I can switch it on the fly to either be on gas and save my electric, or to be on electric and save my gas, or to be in auto mode where the car will decide on its own what it thinks is best for the situation. If I'm under a lot of acceleration and I'm on auto mode, it will automatically engage the hybrid drive and turn the engine on. If it's cold out, below a certain amount of temperature, it will automatically run the engine because that heat is essentially a byproduct of making energy for the car. So I'm not sure exactly how it goes, but if you want to have a really, really hot car fast in the cold weather, your best bet is to burn gas. I don't know how that works out for Teslas, if they can put out faster heat than a hybrid can, but I know in this particular model, just keeping the windows defrosted properly can be an issue where you absolutely need to run the heater. I did find a kind of a sweet spot. If I leave the fan on the lowest setting and leave the defrost on, and if the car is in EV only mode, then it will just say if you want full defrost, you need to engage the hybrid drive. Otherwise, we're going to do what we can, I guess. So I've been able to get away with that, and I have a trusty heated blanket, electric of course, and my heated seat and my heated steering wheel. With those three things, I'm pretty comfy running on just the slowest fan setting, with as hot as the electric heat will get to keep my windows defrosted. So that's not too bad of an issue. After I figured out what I had to do, I had to push this EV button. If you really want to stay warm, you better have an electric blanket. And other than that, the heated steering wheel is really nice. One of the things I don't like about the car is, I think it's mainly design, perhaps. It might just be me, but several times, and by several I mean out of the hundreds of times, maybe 1,000 times I've gotten in and out of the car, I've probably hit the hood release button about 10 times. 10 good times where it actually released the hood and I didn't realize it. Probably the first 4 or 5 times, I'm like, what am I catching my foot on? I don't even know how to release the hood. Speaking of releasing the hood, to actually put the hood up, it's quite an adventure. I should probably do a video on that to show you guys exactly where you need to reach in, what you have to push to figure out how to get the hood to release all the way so you can actually put the hood up. Another issue I've had with it, I had this issue because I got the car in December of 2018, and within about 30 days or so of trying to charge outside at the hospital, I would I would drive my car from my house to the hospital, park to get my free charge on, and then I'd walk the distance from the hospital to work, which was about 1.5 miles. So then I was getting my exercise in and I was getting a free charge. However, when it was snowing really bad, the charging port would freeze up on me. So I had to spray it down with hot water when I got home to try and get the thing to open up. So when you had the charging port open, before you close it, you want to make sure that all the snow and ice or whatever is out of there, because if you close it, that ice will solidify and you're going to have a hard time getting that damn thing open. They told me I probably was going to have to bring it into the dealership if the hot water remedy wouldn't work, but everybody suspected as long as I get it warmed up, then it would open, and I did get that to open up that way. I got some of that spray dry lube stuff and I put that in there, and I got some de-icer, and I haven't had that problem anymore since, but I also haven't been charging in the middle of a snowstorm outside either. So maybe that will happen again, but if it does happen, I have the proper stuff in the back. That alarm that just happened just now was the car told me to put my hands back on the steering wheel, and usually as long as I have like one finger on the steering wheel, the car is happy, but every now and then it will maybe lose track and suspect that I don't have my hand on the steering wheel. But as long as my fingers are on the steering wheel, the car will try its best to keep me within the green lines, to keep me going straight. So it's pretty handy, but it doesn't work all the time, so you need to be paying attention all the time. But it is quite helpful. I think it's way better than it is worse, as far as helping to keep you in your lane and prevent accidents from happening. It does perhaps create a little bit of a false sense of security, though. So it's definitely not fully auto. You need to pay attention. Like yesterday, I came across a herd of deer. There was at least 10 deer that ran across the road, and I'm sure the car was not going to stop. I didn't want to test it either. It's no Tesla. It doesn't detect things in your path. I mean, it detects that car in front of me, and it will keep me at my set distance that I set the car to follow this car at. I usually have it set to the maximum following distance for maximum safety, and then it's just really so relaxing to not have to worry about having your foot on the gas, having your foot near the brake, only having to have like a finger on the steering wheel, and the car basically drives itself. It's going to match that guy's speed in front of me up to my maximum speed limit that I set. If he slows down, I won't even notice it. So like right now, this guy's stopping, and I don't have my feet on the brake anywhere, and the car is just slowing itself down. One thing that's kind of annoying is sometimes it does that like too aggressively, I suppose. And then the natural increase to my maximum set speed of 60, as you can see here, took much longer than usually people in my rearview mirror would really care. People don't want to be following me if I'm letting the car decide how fast I need to accelerate, because the car is going to accelerate at a nice constant speed increase, as opposed to most people heavy on the accelerator. So it's pretty cool. That's one of the cool features for sure. Let's see. I obviously don't really like the fact that I have hardly any trunk space. Packing for 2 people to go to Florida, so we're packing light. The car is going to be extremely cramped, and trying to get 4 people to Florida this year is going to be quite an interesting task. We're all gonna have to have like one little tiny duffel bag full of like maybe 3 different outfits max. Each person has a swimsuit, a couple things to change into on a various day or two, and we'll just have to do laundry or buy clothing. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'll let you guys know how it happens, what that event's all about. But generally on the highway, I'm getting about 500 miles on a tank of gas, regardless of how aggressive I'm driving. It does have some pretty good acceleration. It's definitely not a race car, and your fuel economy will definitely take a hit if you're getting heavy on the accelerator. It doesn't stop for stoplights or stop signs, so there's that aspect. You do have to pay attention. The safety features, the pros and the cons. I really like it. I just can't hardly wait to get my Tesla, though. Some of you might know I put down the money to reserve my Cybertruck. So the plan is that by the time I'm by the time they're for sale to be bought, actually being produced, this car should be paid for. And the plan is to give this car to my daughter probably for her 18th birthday. Haven't quite finalized that at all yet. And I know I wanted to make it like an incentivized program for her, so it's not just a guaranteed thing, and she's got to kind of work for it, because this is a pretty awesome car. You know, it's way better than my first car. My first car was pretty awesome. Shout out to Dad for hooking me out with that car. My second car was definitely not as good as my first car, but I crashed my first car due to icy roads. Speaking of icy roads, it's only front-wheel drive, and I bought winter snow tires immediately. As soon as I bought the car, I bought winter tires for it, and then they're on their own rims. With the winter tires, this car is amazing in the ice and snow. It's got great handling. It's got great stopping and going on ice, but the lateral traction is kind of where I was having a problem. On one of the days last year, or about 12 months ago, somewhere around there, it was a really bad storm in Plainwell, Michigan, and work was shut down. There was whiteout conditions, heavy winds, blizzard-like conditions. I was stopping and going fine, but when I actually stopped at this stop sign, the car started sliding sideways off the road and it was heading towards a ditch. So, like, if I would have not done anything, I'm sure I would have been in the ditch. But I had stopped. There was nobody else coming, so I just gave it gas and we went forward. So it's kind of weird. The tires that I got are the Michelin's Ice X 3s. Really loving them. I probably got about 6,000 or 7,000 miles on the Michelin ice tires, Ice X 3s, whatever. Trying to think of any other. A recent issue is I always run my phone for music, and it's connected to the car setup. And if the car, for some reason, it's only happened like 2 or 3 times out of like every time I get in my car, it doesn't link up right away with my phone for whatever reason. Like I said, probably only like 1% of the times this error just happens out of the blue. The car will default to some AM channel of static, and it'll be loud. It's obnoxious. And now I'm trying to drive and figure out why my phone didn't link up with the car. So I have to find my phone on the car and re-lock it into place, and then the music starts working. But if Ford could just fix it so that way it defaults to nothing. I don't want to hear the radio. I definitely don't want to hear static. I would rather just hear nothing and have an error say phone not found, or maybe keep trying to find the phone because the phone's there. I don't know why it's not linking up all the time. It just doesn't happen all the time. So, like I said, it's only maybe 3 times and over 500 times of driving my car around that it didn't link up. Ford GPS. Totally hate Ford GPS. I was coming back from a kayaking trip, and for some reason I got to be the leader, so I just plugged in my coordinates to go home, and next thing you know, everyone's wondering why we're on a like DNR backwoods trail. I'm driving my brand new 2019 Ford Fusion Hybrid Energi, essentially on seasonal roads. I almost made it. According to the GPS, I'm like, my house is just a mile that way. But I couldn't get over this next hill. Like, no matter what we tried, like 10 tries, I finally was like, in order for me to make it up this hill, I'm going to have to be going about 60 miles an hour. And hope to God nobody's coming over it the other way, because it's a 1-lane road. 1-lane dirt road. Loose dirt. People are out there in their big Jeeps, lifted up, all-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive. And here I am in just my 2-wheel drive car, literally bottoming out. I did cause some minor damage to the skirting, or I think it's like heat shielding or something underneath the car. Instead of it being metal, it's made out of some hard carpet-like fiber material. So either I need to rip that all the way off or try to have that replaced at my next servicing event, because it does kind of have a little bit of a vibration coming through when the wind or maybe there's ice buildup in there or something, because it is kind of torn in a couple places. So probably need to replace that. Thanks to Ford GPS for taking the shortest distance. I wish there was a way in Ford GPS I could say, don't take me down a dirt road. Yeah, that would be really helpful. Another thing that I really, really found annoying was the whole update situation. Like, there's an update needed. You need to pull over and install the update. Please connect to Wi-Fi. It would give me this message after I had turned the car on and started to drive it somewhere. So why the hell wasn't it downloading the update while the car was parked in my garage connected to the Wi-Fi for the last 24 hours or whatever? So now all of a sudden when I start the car up, it wants to try and connect to Wi-Fi in the middle of the road on a journey to who knows where, and somehow get an update. Come on, Ford, let's think about this. Do the update when you stop the car and it connects to Wi-Fi. Do it automatically, or don't bother me about it when I start the car up, because now I'm trying to push these buttons on the console to get this stupid error message to go away while I'm trying to drive. Sure, the car drives itself and really is helpful for that, but distraction big time. Like, annoyance to the max. Other than that, I'm still happy with my purchase. If I could turn time back, I would have tried harder to get a Model 3 instead. Especially realizing how Harold Ziegler and Plainwell treats hybrid vehicles. They have a charging station. However, for over a year, they have not had their charging station working. At one point, I felt like doing a weekly visit to see if their charging station was working, and then to call and leave them to just fill out the 1-star review on their website. They really pay attention to that, by the way. So if you have a bad experience at Ford, Ziegler, Plainwell, definitely leave your thoughts on their website. they will get a hold of you, or at least try to. I haven't been back since. They did make it right, the incident that I had with them in regards to charging me for an oil change and then telling me that I need to have my oil changed twice as often. Don't understand how that works. I'm trying to receive a phone call right now. Sorry about that, guys. They'll save that in post, I'm sure. Yeah, my editing team will figure a way to get rid of that. Other than that, video is definitely longer now, so hopefully all you commenters out there had all your questions answered. Thanks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell. Bye!